I'm Justin,
And I'm Bree.
and this is the Better Together podcast.
Welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited this week because the work on our house is finished. Ah!
I'm excited that the house is done. I'm just
Yep.
tired.
Yes.
It's been a day for me.
You've had an adventure and a half.
A true adventure.
Do tell us a little bit about what went on.
I just, spent hours driving in a circle. My brother lives a few hours away from us, and somebody needed to go pick him up. And so I volunteered to go pick him up. And it took me about 2 hours and 45 minutes to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to drive him another 45 minutes the other direction past our house
Mm-hmm.
to take him to our parents' house, and then drive the 45 minutes back to our house. Add in, stopping at a few stores to make it more interesting or worthwhile,
Mm-hmm.
and some breakfast and some lunch, and it's a whole day.
Yeah.
I think 10 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was longer than a normal work day for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't have to leave as early, but it was late.
Yeah.
It was like 8:30 to 6, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Good times. Lots of fun just driving around. It was interesting. I didn't realize there was a national battlefield near where he lives right now, and I saw a Buddhist temple.
Oh.
That was interesting. Went to a Goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure there was a lady smoking crack outside.
Oh.
So that was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it just was. It's like you're driving through this town, and like it's not a bad town as far as I know. But I'm driving through it, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like, there's all these restaurants, and like there's these frozen yogurt places or frozen custard places, whatever, and like all these different things that I've never heard of that, like, honestly, like, looked good.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, but this is also sketchy at the same time. Okay, this is different. Not used to that.
Yeah, normally for us, if you go to a place and there's lots of interesting things that look nice and whatnot, it's all a nice area.
Yeah, no, it was weird. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I walked in the Goodwill, found a piece of bleak, which is a type of glassware,
Yeah,
question mark,
yeah, glassware.
that my mom really likes. And then I told my brother, I was like, hey, you just want to give this to mom? And he's like, from me? And I was like, yeah. It was like $4. It'll make her happy
Yeah.
if you give it to her. We had already found a different piece of bleak to give to her.
Which was also $4.
Yeah. So it's technically, like, if you were to buy this stuff new, it's very expensive.
Yes.
And then a lot of times on the resale market, it's very expensive, but people don't know what it is. It's one of the few things left that people at sales and things like that don't know what they have.
Yeah, and it's like with a lot of stuff though, it's hit or miss on whether people understand what they have and how they price it and whatnot. 'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes you go places and they know what they got, and they think they got a lot better stuff than they do have, and they price it way out.
Yeah.
Or people just have no clue and they're like, let's get rid of this stuff. $2, $3.
Mm-hmm.
So, because we've seen pieces of bleak for like $40, $60, $75. And they're not large pieces.
No, and I don't know. It's always a weird thing, but.
If you ever find like a glassware porcelain,
Very thin, always pretty much white, kind of a white cream color.
Yeah.
It'll say bleak on the bottom. It'll have a symbol like a harp and a dog normally. And it'll have usually some kind of Irish pattern, Irish or seashells, which I don't know how those two really go together, but the Irish
I guess
stuff.
Yeah.
And this had some Irish theming to it, which was nice.
Those are my favorite ones, the ones with the shamrocks.
Yeah, and
I'm not a big fan of the seashell.
I didn't even notice it at first. I just, like, I don't know what it was, but it was like the color or whatever, and I just picked it up and I was like, I wonder if this is bleak. Flipped it over and it's like, yep, $3. I'll take it.
We've developed an eye for this.
And not I haven't on purpose though. It's not like I look for it. It just comes out. It's like, oh, looky there.
Well, it happens with Linux with me now as well, because we have some Linux ware. And every time I'm like, Linux, bleak,
Yeah.
bleak, Linux. So
Mm-hmm.
if you ever get into that, it's a fun adventure to just like pick something you like, and then anytime you go thrifting, antiquing, just see what you can find. It makes it to be an
It's
adventure.
kind of like grown up Where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like I Spy. You're just looking through the thrift store, antique store. It's like, here's a whole thing full of junk. Maybe I'll see something I'm interested in.
Yep. Well, we were in a town about what, hour and a half or so away the other day.
When
Um
we were out the other day,
yeah.
oh, it was like just barely an hour.
Yeah. So we were out and I just saw Lennox after Lennox after Lennox after Lennox after Lennox at that place.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Most
everywhere.
people probably don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What Linux is.
Well, it's another. Well, so there's vases and there's plates and there's serving
It's still
dishes and
glassware, but
yeah.
they go into like, you know, you could do a whole like a set goes beyond just like plates and things. Like you said, you could have vases and napkin holders and this and
Mhm.
that. It's literally everything you would want to do like a theme in your house
Yeah.
as far as serving and entertaining. You
Mhm.
could probably do with one style
Yeah.
of Linux glassware.
And of course, there's different styles within the Linux
Yeah, I mean they have all
brand
kinds of
and
styles.
stuff, but it was just so funny because I'd find like two or three pieces here, two or three pieces there, six pieces over here,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, wow, if I really wanted to get into some stuff,
Yeah.
that would have been easy
With the
that day.
house finishing up, we've been looking more, and that's even why I went to more stores today. Is just like, is there anything unique for any of the bathrooms? So that way it'll
Mhm.
just tie the things together, and also with the idea of doing the podcast and video sets,
Yeah.
then we want to have some pretty unique stuff. So I think we're stocked up on albums
Yep.
for our record wall now,
Mhm.
for sure. And then we bought the punching bag,
Yep.
which is such a funny thing to buy. But I think we talked about that in the God Notes podcast from the
Yeah.
other day. But we didn't talk about like it's a big red like vintage Everlast choice of
Mhm.
champions. And I was like, that just look cool in the background. We're gonna have to change. Right now, it's hung with like yellow twine is what it came with.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think a chain's gonna look better than that. At the moment, it's not even vintage; it's just redneck.
Yeah.
But if you
But
put the right chain on there,
mhm.
then we'll be in the money. I'm sure it's not that expensive.
No, it shouldn't be. But our son has had the best time with that punching bag.
Yeah.
He likes to play log with it and just climb on it, jump on it cuz we're not in our house currently. Cuz the work just finished today. But it's just laying around here at the rental and he just likes to run and jump and climb and punch and hit on it and stand and balance. It's been a whole obstacle course adventure thing for him.
Yeah. No, he's loved it. Oh, he's loved it to death, pretty much.
Yeah, he's going to think it's absolutely amazing once it finally gets hung and he gets to go down there and play with it.
Yeah. We just need to. And I looked when I was in the basement the other day, and it's literally in the corner where like a bunch of the stuff is.
Yep.
So like we're gonna have it be the whole project before we even get to that. So I'm thinking honestly just like put it at the bottom of our closet for a little while.
Yeah, why
So that
not?
way, just to have it put away
Mhm.
until we can get in there and actually, we can get the basement set up as the
Yeah.
studio space. But the nice thing is being in a kind of more of a corner
Mhm.
is it sets it up to be just like a one little corner scene
Yeah.
where we can, even paint a different color and, hang some different workout themed stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe we get like, well,
Hang your jump rope over there.
yeah. No, I was gonna say like we should get like a Muhammad Ali picture or something like black and white, just but then like they never have clothes on,
Yeah.
and that's not really our scene. So
Mhm.
we'll have to think about something there. Maybe like a picture from Rocky. That would be hilarious when he's like in the sweats or
Yeah.
something. Like on the heavy bag. That would be funny.
That
You
would be
gotta have
great.
inspiration, or like him standing on the top of those steps in Philadelphia, at
Mhm.
the courthouse.
And that's
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
where you'll film all of your stuff about working out spiritually.
Yes, that's funny. I wonder. Like, I know, like, we already have Alexas and stuff,
Mhm.
but I wonder if like how deep you can go into like the programming stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I may even have to like buy the song from the movie. But it would be so great to be like to be able to take people down there and be like, Alexa, boxing, and like the lights change, and then like all of a sudden that song comes on from the movie, you know?
That would be
Dun,
hilarious.
dun, 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 dun. And then like then all of a sudden it like, starts playing Eye of the Tiger. It's the Eye. That'd be hilarious.
Well, that's now on your to-do list.
I wish you could do multiple though. Like maybe I can. Oh, I've got audio software. It'd just be funny to think like take that song,
Mm-hmm.
the One Rocky theme song, but
Mhm.
then also have like cheers, like crowd cheers in it. You know, like woo.
That would be great.
Yeah, that's an investment that's worth the money for sure. Definitely worth it. But the other part about the studio that's going to be nice is it is so hard to study and write and think with you guys around.
Yeah.
Like it's just so because like everything's more distracting and it's harder to think and it's like
Mhm.
it's gonna be so nice.
Well, in that, you pick the place where we congregate to do it
Well,
because you want to be close
no,
to us.
even if like this house, I don't have an option.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I have like a place I can go and like seclude myself where there's no chair in here, you know. And then
There's
there's
a bench.
yes, that's you guys can come sit on the bench. And then like it's like it's open concept as far as the the kitchen
Living
and
and
living area
dining.
is, and then there's an entryway, but there's no door. There's just like two random chairs out
Yep.
there. So, but and even in our house, like I'll go to the office, but there's not really any sound difference between the two rooms.
That's what headphones are for.
Yes, and then
Tell
you have
you.
to listen to something, and it distracts me just as much. I just want to be able to freely think. Free.
One day.
Oh, one day. Yeah, it's not going to be that far away at this point either.
Well, it might have to be because we have to have a giant yard sale
That's true.
to get rid of
You just didn't have so much stuff.
90% of the stuff that we store down there.
That's true.
Yeah. So, springtime.
Man, thanks for raining on my parade.
I'm sorry.
It's been a long day for me. You couldn't have gave me one thing.
I'm sorry. I have to keep you in check. That's my job.
I didn't realize that was your job description.
Yeah. Yeah.
My job is to keep Justin in check.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Yep.
I'm glad somebody's doing it.
So our son picked you out a present today.
I haven't been told.
He went through several options, wanting to get stuff for you, but I gently guided him to find something that would not be a completely random gift.
I took him shopping with me this year for a vast majority of the things that I bought you, but I didn't even like. He just wasn't in that zone of thinking about like what should I get, mom? He didn't even have that mindset, and so I didn't even give him the option. I didn't like force it. I was just like, I'll just pick a bunch of stuff.
Well, like it just came out because we were at the Habitat Restore, just browsing about because it's 50% sale on everything. So you have to go.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to look around. He goes, I want to buy a Christmas present for Daddy.
Well, then you kind of have
like,
to let him do something.
Okay. Pick out something that says Daddy to you. And he picked up some frilly decorative shoe things.
Oh.
That like
he
were
knows
wooden,
me so well.
and they had like a little lace trim around the top. I was like, I don't know that Daddy's in the decorative shoe.
I was like, I was
game.
at that store yesterday, and I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I did see the like, the things you'd put in your shoes to keep them.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I almost thought about those.
I mean, they're interesting, but I
never looked at how much they were. I just
Yeah.
thought like you could put them like basically prop type thing.
Yeah.
Just have them somewhere because they're wooden and metal
Mhm.
and stuff.
Yeah.
They have two different kinds, I think. There.
We were in the glassware section, the decoration stuff area, going through, and he picked through a couple of things, and then I gently led him to an area and let him discover this thing on his own. So, yeah. I was like, once he got to that one, I said, okay, you can get that one for daddy. And he was so excited.
Okay, you can get that one, the
Yeah.
one that I allow.
Because otherwise, you would have ended up with some very interesting items.
Oh yeah. He did say when we went shopping for you, there was
Mhm.
one thing he saw, and he was like, the watermelon bowl. And it was a bowl, and it was painted like a watermelon, but it had definitely seen much better days, possibly years, like decades even. Like it was like, no, I'm not paying anything for that. That is of a shape that I'm not willing to give any amount of money for.
That's how it was with a couple things. And like, he picked up some decorative flower pots and stuff for you,
Mm.
which, I mean, you tend to pick those up for me a lot of times. But I was like, I don't think daddy
I really got to
needs
stop that though. The
a
small flower
decorative
pot things.
flower pot.
We've got a little too many small flower pots at this point. So I think I gotta ham.
You got to look for some larger ones.
Well, I mean, I did get you the one big one.
I know. I was just saying, you got to refocus.
Mm-hmm.
Stop going for the small ones. We need some medium and large ones.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I honestly don't have much today. I was hoping you're gonna carry the weight of this.
Oh, I don't really have much besides that our house is done, and I'm just
Yeah.
so ready to be back.
Oh, well, we'll be back tomorrow. Just
Mhm.
back to doing a bunch of work.
Yeah.
Our appliances also came in this week
Yeah.
because we replaced all those, which is fun. But that became a whole different bear of a task. Just like, oh yeah, I'll install all this stuff. I've got this. I'm not worried about it. Oh,
Maybe
this
I
is actually a
should
lot of
have.
work. I didn't realize.
Hmm.
The dishwasher was the one that was throwing me for a loop, but I figured it out in the end, and it did run, and it was all good. Just the one that we took out was much simpler, and then I spent forever looking for brackets to mount it, and they turned out to be in the silverware thing, which I did not expect. I was like, I didn't know.
Like, and you would have thought that they would have put that in the manual or something somewhere so that way
They
you could
kind
figure
of
it
did.
out, but they didn't really.
No, the only reason I figured it out is because it mentioned taking that thing out, and then the next line was about the included parts for the dishwasher, and I'm like, "Wait a minute. You're telling me that I've been looking this whole time? We had already taken that thing off."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh,
That was
but
ridiculous.
it's all done. We have
Mhm.
nice new stuff and nice new bathrooms. And yeah, we get to get our house back in order tomorrow.
Yes, thankfully, because it's been too long of a process, and just because of the way that life works
Mhm.
is that, obviously Sunday is Christmas Eve,
Yep.
and Monday is Christmas. Merry
Mhm.
Christmas to you and your family.
Yes.
We will have a Monday episode. It's gonna be brief, but we are going to wish you a Merry Christmas then. But in case you don't listen to that, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas now. Hope you guys have a great and blessed Christmas.
Mhm.
And I hope that you'll also give emphasis and focus to God. But Christmas being Monday, Christmas Eve being on Sunday, so we'll be at church all day Sunday. We go to my parents' house on Christmas Day.
Mhm.
So on Saturday is really when we want to do our thing.
Yeah.
But that means that we really have to grind tomorrow to have our whole house in order and really be able to sleep in our house tomorrow night
Yeah.
and be done with this house and not even having to come back Saturday
Yeah.
is the full real plan.
Mhm.
But that's going to take some serious dedication and work
Yep.
in order to get to that place.
Because everything is covered in drywall.
Yes. I think we can do it.
Yeah.
Especially like you wake up, you go straight there. I wait on the kid. He wakes up, we go straight there, and we just get to it,
Yeah.
you know.
At one point, someone will have to come back over here and gather the stuff.
Yeah, I think first things first, get over there, get all of our stuff back in pretty much the place that it goes,
Mm-hmm.
and then one of us starts making the runs back and forth over
Yeah.
here. Which just because I don't trust myself, I mean I don't care to be the one making the runs, but the
Mhm.
final trip to here is totally gonna have to be on you, so that way I don't have to worry about like, oh, did we do this? Did we get that? Is this blah 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 blah? Like we know for a fact
Yeah.
that it is done.
I get that.
You're the closer.
Yes, and I'm totally fine with that. It's just there'll be cleanup stuff here and things that we'll need to do as well. Um, so it's just gonna be a long day tomorrow too.
Yay. It's exactly what
Yay!
I've been looking forward to. I'm like, you know what? I need more of on vacation. Long days.
Long days of doing stuff.
Yeah. I really thought, doing podcasts and all those things would have been easier on
Vacation.
vacation. And that's not been the case at
No,
all.
we've been so busy this vacation. It's not even been funny. We had one day
Yeah.
to do something fun.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
You've had one day out of your
Hmm.
whole vacation.
Well, we have
Thus
next
far.
week.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll go better. But I will say on New Year's Day, I'm no count.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm not doing nothing.
Yep. But yeah, I don't really have anything interesting to discuss this week. Oh, I did have a couple things from last week that I could pull
Oh,
up.
yeah. I forgot about you having that.
Hey.
I could have gone like down a serious road, but now we've talked for 20 minutes before getting to a serious topic. And so I don't really feel like it's worth it.
Yeah, I get that.
But at some point, because of like part of today is I was, hanging out with my brother and trying to, help him
Mhm.
and guiding him down some paths and things. And,
Mhm.
they all like, we want to see our whole family strengthened in the faith.
Yes.
And so, like, that was trying to be like sprinkled in and brought up. And like, we had the conversation, but that stuff's hard.
Yeah.
And so, like, we should have a longer form conversation about sharing your faith with family,
Mhm.
especially because sometimes that's more difficult than it is to share it with anybody else.
Yeah.
And so it's worth talking about.
Yeah. I totally think that needs to come up in a future episode. I will say, sadly, we did not win any of the Bibles in the giveaway.
Oh man.
Yep. I watched that first episode.
I think you only put in for like one of them though.
Oh no, I put in for like 2 or 3,
Oh.
but some of them, like, it wasn't stuff that you were interested in
Yeah.
and whatnot, so I didn't bother doing that.
When that's so random because nobody knows what you're talking about
Yeah,
again.
sorry.
But Tim Wildsmith on YouTube,
Mhm.
he does a bunch of Bible reviews and he does the 12 days of Bible giveaways, and that's what he's been doing this month. And so obviously there's some nice Bibles that we were
Yeah.
interested in, so we put in for those, but wasn't in the cards for us.
Nope.
But I'm sure it worked out for those who got them.
Yeah, really excited for those people. There were some that were way different from our normal style and translations that we tend to go to and stuff. So like those are the ones I didn't put in for.
Mhm.
But of course the ones that we know that we like and the translations and stuff, I did put in for those. Sadly we didn't win, but congrats to those who did. Um a, what?
I've got that doctor's appointment in the morning.
Oh my goodness. Yep, you do.
We completely forgot about that. And they called me twice today to confirm that. Wow, I'm glad I was thinking.
Okay.
So that changes all of our morning plans because I got to be there at like 8:40.
Yeah. So a little switcheroo there. All right. Anyways, so my topics that I had from last week were that a kangaroo escaped, and punched a Canadian officer.
Wow.
So this
Is
kangaroo
it named Jack?
I don't know. They didn't say.
That's funny.
But a kangaroo that escaped its handlers during transport to a new home was captured last Monday east of Toronto after a weekend in the wild, but not before delivering a punch in the face to one of the police officers who brought her run to an end. It was a female kangaroo. She hopped over her handlers late on Thursday during a rest stop, and an officer on patrol spotted the kangaroo about 3 in the morning, and they contacted the handlers and they grabbed it by the tail as instructed. And then the kangaroo turned around and punched one of the officers in the face.
Wow.
Like, what about that?
That is crazy.
I just thought that was too funny.
No, that's hilarious.
And then of course, as always, our funny news stuff is animal related. Bobby, the world's oldest dog, passed away in Portugal. You want to guess how old?
25.
Guess again.
32.
1931.
Wow.
Yes. So it was a purebred Rafael Duel Al Altinho. I don't know. I'm terrible. But it's a sheepdog. And usually they live about 12 to 14 years.
Uh-huh.
The previous record holder was an Australian cattle dog that lived almost 29 and a half years. And it had the record since 1939.
Okay. How do we even know that one's true? How do we know that any of that's true? It's not like they have a birth certificate all the time. I mean, I guess like a
Like
purebred dog can, but come on.
it took 84 years for a new dog to beat
Yeah.
that record.
I'll be honest. It made me think I might not want a cattle dog. Like, I don't want a dog that's going to live 29 or 31 years. Like, I'm good.
Yeah. Like that's a long time to commit to an animal, a
Yeah.
dog. But the owners attributed his longevity to a number of factors, including living in peace in the countryside,
Oh, I mean, of
never
course.
having been chained up or kept on a leash, and always eating human food.
This is the people in Portugal?
Yep.
You sure they're not from like San Francisco?
Yeah. So that was an interesting one.
Yeah.
The human food.
Wow.
And also the dog was never chained up or put on a leash. I mean, it's a sheepdog,
Oh, yes.
but like,
Was it in a fence?
yeah, how do you get through some of that training?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we've trained a dog. Like, we had to keep it on a leash constantly for that first little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure that they understood you stay with your person.
I mean, there's so much that goes into the training that just requires the leash. Like,
yeah.
it'd be very hard to train a dog without something like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I thought that was
And the people food thing, like, and then what do you like? Are you talking about like raw or all that weird stuff?
Yeah. I don't know. It didn't go into great detail on that, but I thought those were two stories that you would find very interesting.
Yeah.
The last thing I just had we talked about before, it's housing rates are going to drop next year
Sure.
and the year after.
Sure they are.
Well, by 2025, we should get down to a median of 3.6.
Still more than we have.
Yep. Like,
I don't know.
rates are crazy.
Yeah.
I saw someone talking today. They were at their bank and they were just kind of inquiring on auto rates just to kind of see where things were at. 15%, this person's bank said.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's for a used car or for a new car.
I think it was just like a general because they were asking just
15%.
But that person, the comments were like, that's not quite right. Normally it's like 7 to 9%.
That's still ridiculous.
Or whatever. So the people were shocked that that person was told 15%. But still, like you said, 7 to 9 still crazy.
When we had 2.9
Yeah.
for
Our last vehicle.
Our last loan.
Mm-hmm.
And then they let us refinance our other car that was like a 3 point something onto the same place for the same rate.
Yeah.
This is insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Is what that is. Wow.
The price of stuff. And interest rates. It's just absolutely mind-boggling.
Well, I mean, I went to Chick-fil-A today and got a regular sized combo, except I got a large lemonade, and it was $9 and some change for 4 chicken minis and like the medium or small hash browns that come with it. This is insane.
Yeah, but it's really yummy.
No, it wasn't that great. They weren't as good as they used to be. Didn't seem like as butter, honey, or whatever on top of the bread like normal. I don't know.
No, it's probably the taste of paying that much ruined it for you.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like, wow, this is expensive. Well, I think that's all we've got for this week. I'm not going to push it.
Yeah.
Especially now that I realize I have to go to the doctor in the morning. So,
well,
it's such a pain because it's not going to be but 5 minutes at the doctor's office.
Well, thank you guys for joining in with us this week. sorry, it's a little bit different and little more free flowing.
I don't know if that's any different than our normal thing.
Well, I feel like there's a little bit more structure. This was a lot more just back and forth convo.
Yeah, just updating on our days.
Yeah. But we hope you've enjoyed this. If you had, if let us know. If you didn't, let us know and maybe we can do better next time. Anyways, please check back in on Monday, Christmas, for the Christmas podcast, and then we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program afterwards. And yeah.
Yep.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. God bless.
God bless.